underway. All right, Cherry City Classic underway here, folks, at the South Fairgrounds. We're having a nice evening out there.
All right, during the Cherry City Classic Motorcycle Show, I got to be a photographer during a motorcycle race. It was a lot of fun, but it did present a lot of challenges. The first challenge really was the lighting. The lighting was really bad inside that little arena. It was covered. It was a covered arena, and there were some overheads on, but they weren't that great. The outer walls, there were no outer walls. It was open on the walls. It was raining, and it was dark, and it was just, the lighting was horrible. To combat that, I actually just went into shutter priority and had my shutter speed cranked up as high as it would go. I think my ISO actually reached up to about 5,000. My camera could handle it. It wasn't very grainy, and the grain I did have, I was able to kind of correct in Lightroom, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. It was just one of those things where if the lighting would have been better, it would have been a lot better. I still did get some really great and amazing photos. The next challenge I had was where I was located at. I was located on the opposite side of a fence against the wall, shooting kind of as they come around the corner. I was able to shoot them coming this direction. The problem is that this fence that was in between us, I did have focus tracking on, and for the most part, it did work really well, but it kept losing focus on the subject and hitting the fence and focusing on the fence. So I would get these really great pictures of this fence with these blurry riders in the background. What I ended up doing, and this was such a weird thing for me to do, what I ended up doing was going to manual focus. So how I combated that fence and constantly trying to be locked into that fence was, as the bikers were going around the loop, I would focus on a certain spot, using manual focus on a certain spot up ahead. And as they came through, I'd hit the shutter switch, and I had it on like bursts. So I was like taking constant photos as they were coming by. As soon as they got to my focus area, I hit the shutter switch and and I would track them through. I was actually surprised at how well that worked. I was using manual focus as the bikes were coming around, and as they would hit my focus spot, my one plane of focus that I had, and I would hit the burst, and I was able to really nail some really great photos. And I would change that focus spot regularly. I'd be focused over here as they're going around the loop. I'd hit them. Then I'd have the focus directly in front of me, and as they were zooming by, I'd snap the photos. It worked. I no longer had to worry about that stupid fence that was in my way. All I had to do was focus on a spot, wait for the bikes to come around, and hit the photos. Now, one photo I did get, and it was a great photo, and I wish it told this story better. There were younger kids riding motorcycles on this track, and they made a loop, and one of the kids crashed into a wall. They stopped the race. The kid's totally fine. He got up and he walked it off, and the race continued. It was actually kind of cool to see, because that kid, he hit that wall going 40 miles an hour, you know, and he just gets up, walks off. It was pretty cool. But the shot that I got that I thought was really cool was all the kids, they were stopped and they were waiting right in front of me, like this line of bikes right in front of me. And this one kid was looking over at his friend, and you could see his worry in the eyes of his friend, because they hadn't cleared the wreck yet. The kid hadn't gotten up yet, but this one kid, he was like, "Oh no!" And such a great shot. I wish it told a better story. I wish that you could, if you look at that image, you'd be like, "Oh, they're waiting on a crash that happened." So anyway, that was the flat track race. It was a lot of fun to shoot. I had a great time doing it. That's all. Short, quick, and sweet. Talk to you later. Bye.
Rounds are underway here today, folks. All of our youth riders should be lined up, ready to go.